Are we all good? Is everybody on set?
We are all in position, ready to launch.
Are we good back there?
You're only pretending like there's more
The
than
lighting person, are we good? All right, thank you. You got the board ready with all the topics?
Oh my god.
Appreciate that.
Yo, why are you pretending like there's anyone else?
It would be so nice. It would be so nice. Can you please put your phone away? We are at work.
Yes, sorry. I mean, that is also work. But hey guys, how's it going?
How's it going?
Hey guys. What's up, you know? Long time no see, long time no hear. We are back here in the stew, which is our bedroom, living room.
This is the WTJ headquarters. So I want to start this episode by saying something.
Okay.
I got a message to all the listeners.
Okay, just say it.
Just say it?
Mm-hmm.
I remember in season 1 when we first started.
Yeah.
I was so nervous.
Yeah.
The first couple episodes, not even couple.
I would kind of say the whole season.
The whole season 1 of our podcast, it wasn't the whole season.
Okay.
The whole season is 50 episodes. Like I would say
the first 6.
No, the good 17 episodes.
Okay.
I remember I was like,
yeah, you were learning. You were becoming a podcaster.
Yeah, I was learning. I was an intern, I feel like. But I was learning on the job.
Yeah, you were. And you did. And now look at you go.
Yeah.
Today we are diving into the topic because...
Today we're what?
Diving into the topic.
Oh,
what do you think I said?
I heard today we're ducking.
We're ducking in. We are going to... I don't know. I don't want this episode to come off as like me defending myself. It might.
Well, anytime you give a disclaimer, you know what that sounds like?
It always ends up being
sounds like
what
you're about to do exactly what you said.
Yeah. But we are talking about opinions.
Oof, that's Ali's favorite thing.
I have a lot of opinions. I think most people have opinions.
But here's the thing that you love to say.
What do I love to say?
You wrong or right, you say, okay, but I'm allowed to have an opinion, right?
Yeah.
Which you are allowed to.
Which I am allowed to.
But sometimes you say it in moments that it doesn't make, it's like you almost don't have anything else to say but to say that to defend yourself. So you hide behind,
I'm allowed to have an opinion.
I'm allowed to have an opinion no matter what you said.
Well,
and I don't mean this podcast to take
to
this turn.
Attacking me. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I kind of like good to attack myself, honestly, because I do want to talk about, and it actually just short side note, I met up with a friend this morning, grabbed some like early morning coffee, which was really nice. I don't know why I said it like that.
I don't know either.
But yeah, I met with my friend and we were just catching up. Haven't seen her in a little bit. And we actually ended up talking about, like on the podcast, how I tend to, you know, just get a lot of feedback, get a lot of comments on things that I say, things that I share, because the podcast, the whole point of it is to, you know, like share our thoughts about different topics. And I feel like for me, the way that I think about the podcast is like, I want to be able to share my thoughts and opinions, but especially because I feel like I rarely hear other people share those thoughts and opinions in the way that I do, not necessarily my delivery, but like the actual content. And those are like, that's like my truth. My opinions are a truth to me.
But you don't hear that anywhere else.
But I don't hear other people voicing those ideas in like the frame that I tend to do, in the frame that we do, because oftentimes we agree.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say, don't leave me out of it, because my opinions are, I feel like they're a little bit more watered down than yours. You know, that's why I'm the blue and you're the red. You bring that energy, you bring that passion.
However, I do want to own up to the fact that I am consciously working on how I deliver my opinions. And I think that is a big component.
I think it's the
and
most
factor on how an opinion is received. And for some reason, I am stuck in this mental approach to sharing my thoughts and my opinions where I don't know how to do it lightly.
What did I say yesterday?
I don't know. What did you say yesterday?
We can say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Right? We can have the exact same opinion, about anything, right?
Yeah.
Almost even like using the same words, right?
Okay.
And the way people receive it when you say it versus like how I say it,
it's as if it's a different opinion.
It's as if it's a completely different opinion.
Like a whole different take.
Yeah. It's like almost like when I say it, people don't even register what I said in a way.
No, I don't think that's true.
No, not that, but it doesn't
hit them across the face.
Exactly.
Yes. And I like to hit people across the face with my opinions.
But you don't even do it on purpose. You just hit people.
I want to explain like kind of what happens in my head. And I want the people that are listening to the podcast, which also, by the way, welcome back to the What's the Juice pod. We got to introduce it. We got to do it every episode.
All right. For all the new listeners, welcome. My name is Yoni Kodo.
I am your other host, Alia Zaitza, and I am the opinion holder.
She's the opinion holder, and I'm the opinion watered down version of the holder.
No, I wouldn't say it's watered down, because watered down means it's less of an opinion. I would say that also why.
I think it's all about delivery, to be honest.
Yes. But I was going to say the reason why also my delivery and generally like my opinion or hot take or thought on a topic comes off as like strong and I guess like
aggressive,
you could say, is also because it's contrasted against your delivery.
So it's
which
more
your delivery
highlighted.
is so the complete opposite. If we both would, let's say I was like a little bit less and you were like higher up, matching my level a little bit more in terms of how you deliver your opinion, I think it would also be a little bit less contrasted and make mine seem super fired up.
Yeah.
In a way. I'm not saying at all this is your fault, that this is why I'm being seen as the devil.
But I do think there was one episode where you try to make it seem like it was my fault that you come off the way you do because I'm so light.
Well, I don't know if maybe that's the episode where we were talking about also how, not even on the podcast, but in general, like in our relationship, I tend to be very reactive and you are the opposite. And that sometimes makes me feel like I'm like in the moment, I feel alone in my feelings because I don't see your reaction matching mine. And I feel like I'm going through this annoying thing, frustrating thing alone. So that's what we talked about. But I would say like specifically on the podcast, I really, really believe in this podcast and I really cherish the work that we do on it.
I think you got to speak up just a little louder.
And it means the world to me. And because of that, and the topics that we talk about and we've tackled, especially this last season, they're all super important to me. And I want people to like hear it. And I would hope, and this is my platform. This is like my little corner of the internet. You don't have to agree with me. But the point of sharing our thoughts and our ideas are to open someone's mind to maybe a possibility they didn't hear before, which is why
to give people a different perspective. My favorite word.
Exactly. And for some reason, when I'm sharing my opinion on the podcast, I can already hear the opposite opinion of what I'm already saying. I'm starting to argue against it, but there's nobody else here. So I'm like, I become so argumentative and I become so
sometimes
aggressive as if I'm like replying to someone, except that someone is only up in my head.
Yes, exactly. And I don't have that. That's the difference. When I give my opinion, I'm speaking without defending.
It's not as if you're replying to someone jabbing at you.
Because no one is.
I know, but I don't know what happens in my mind because also there's only so much context that we can give. Like if we're talking about a specific topic, like our last week's episode about best friends in adulthood. And I have a lot of personal like experiences in my life with people that were in my life or currently are in my life that influence my opinion and my thought. But there's only so much context that I can give without it becoming too personal, without talking too specifically, because I also don't want, like, people also have to remember when we're talking about like specific stories, this is our real life. This is not made up. And the person that we're talking about, if they listen, they could very easily think it, like, realize it's them, and then it becomes a whole thing on the back end. And like, we want to be mindful of that because these are still people that are in our lives, but we also want to be able to share and feel safe in this space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. No, okay, I'm listening. I feel like I'm not.
No. So how do you feel like, let's talk about opinions more broadly.
Okay.
When is it like, how do we feel about...
Wait, should we do it like, do you want to ask me questions to maybe how you could not have that that defensive wall while you're making a point?
I don't know if there's like necessarily a question. I think it's something that I have to like constantly be practicing. And the podcast is especially the place that my opinions are just flying out of my mouth, because that is kind of the point of the podcast.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, there isn't really, because we're very different people. So I have to find like the way that you approach your opinion and sharing things. That wouldn't necessarily work for me because we're very different in a lot of aspects that way. So I need to figure out how to quiet down that defensive voice because nobody's coming at me. And sometimes I feel like I have to respond to someone that I know might say something to something I said before. Does that make sense? Because I'm just imagining already like the comments I might see on something I just said. So then I double down on it to like clarify what I mean. And sometimes it's hard because we don't have like an audience. We don't have people that can just ask things.
It would be cool. Yeah. Doing a live show would be amazing.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask though, in general, when it comes to opinions, like what would you say are like the social rules in terms of like it's appropriate to share your opinion and not? Do you have to be invited? It kind of goes back to like our conversation about honesty with your friends.
So the way I think about sharing experiences is that anytime I share an experience, I'm always...
An experience or an opinion?
No, what did I say?
Experience.
Oh, anytime I share an opinion, I'm always mindful of that there are other opinions out there and that my opinion isn't necessarily the only right thing that I'm sharing.
So what does being mindful look like?
Being mindful is that I'm just going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
And what I love to say is that I could be wrong. I could be.
Yeah, you do love to say that.
Because I don't know everything. So I could be wrong, but this is what I think. But now, hold on a second. So just by me saying I could be wrong, that disarms everything. Everybody else is like, oh, you know what? He's just sharing his opinion. But if I'm sharing my opinion and I'm just doubling down and saying it, yes, it's still your opinion, but now everyone else is ready to attack you because they want to respond to it. But if you share your opinion and say, you know, I could be wrong, but this is what I think about this thing, people are going to approach you with an educational angle versus how could you say that, or this is misogyny, or this is sexist, or this is whatever. They're not going to throw names at you like it happened before, you know? It would be more just a different perspective as well.
But what about an opinion? I totally hear you. But what about an opinion in which, like, I feel like if I share my truth of how I perceive a situation or a thing in our society, that is my truth. Going back to the same thing of like having best friends in adulthood.
Breast
friends. My truth, which then forms my opinion on the matter, to me is right. How I feel based on all these things that have informed my opinion, past experiences, current friendships, what I've personally dealt with, and what I have witnessed from afar. Okay. All these things are informing and shaping my opinion.
Okay.
In accordance to my values.
Which makes your opinion the right opinion to you.
In my brain, yeah, because I wouldn't share an opinion that I think is wrong.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Would you ever share an opinion that you think is wrong?
No, but I would share an opinion that I could be wrong in.
I mean, nobody knows could be wrong or right, because these are also opinions usually are not like they're
I guess it depends on what we're talking about.
It's not like a fact. Yeah. An opinion isn't a fact.
Yeah.
An opinion is just, and that's like another thing that I feel like is important to talk about. An opinion is not a fact.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
I might deliver it like it's a fact because it feels like a fact to me, in the sense that to me, this is my reality and this is my opinion that I've derived from, as I said, everything that's happened in my life, the people in my life, and this has shaped my opinion on this topic.
But are you aware? I mean, I know you are. There's other perspectives out there.
Absolutely.
So anytime when I talk about something and this is what I believe in and this is what I stand on, right? I know that there's going to be people who will disagree with that because everyone has different life experiences.
Of course.
And the way you grew up, the way you were raised, where you grew up, what kind of friends you had.
Yes.
That will make your reality and however you become as an adult, whether you're like, it's all a product of where you come from, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
And that informs your opinion on different things.
Exactly, which makes it, everyone is kind of correct on what they think about shit. Because if that is your truth, nobody's wrong. Because everybody got their truth.
It depends what we're talking about. I agree with that, which is what I just said too. But there's also some things that, like, you know, when people can't agree on the truth.
Okay.
To more serious life things, like world events.
Yeah.
Or things like that, you know.
But we're not talking about that.
I know. I just wanted to clarify that. Because from what you said, saying that everyone's opinion is the truth can become dangerous a little bit. Because I think it depends, like, when is something, that's why there's a difference between having an opinion.
But it's the truth to them.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it a fact.
I know. There's a difference between
because that's what I'm trying to say. You know, it's like you can say, like, ghosts are real or not. Bad example. But
if I saw a ghost, right? If I literally saw a ghost, to me, ghosts are real. You never saw one. So to you, it's not real. So who's right? Hold on a second. You've never seen a ghost before.
I feel like we need a better example or something.
But that is actually a perfect example. If I literally saw a ghost with my own eyes.
Okay, but we're not talking about ghosts. We're talking about, like, societal norms and societal things and relationships, which are not as, this is a microphone.
Tangible.
They're not tangible.
Okay.
You know, I see a chair. You don't see a chair. It's red or orange. You know what I'm saying? It's different versus, like, talking about topics and ideas that are subjective at the end of the day. You know? And those are all informed by, as you said, like, our background, culture, huge influence on your opinion and how you see the world and how it influences, like, your values. And it's so many factors combine into how someone's opinion is shaped on something.
But that's exactly what I was going to say. So to each individual, whatever they're thinking about is right.
Exactly. So to me, saying my opinion, but then saying, but I might be wrong, I think it doesn't do my opinion justice in the way that, like, I want it to be received, in a way that it's like, this is my truth. Like, I feel like in a way that waters down everything I just said. It kind of, like, smudges it. It's not crisp anymore.
I see exactly what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's why I'm a little hesitant to say, like, all this stuff that I so truly believe to my core, this is my truth and my opinion on this matter. But then after I say all that, to be like, but I might be wrong. I can't do that.
Why am I able to do that and not even feel any type of way about it? Because I could be wrong. I'm so open.
But these are things that I don't necessarily think are like, because they're made up and they're so subjective and open to interpretation, and how you receive what's out there. Again, it can be so like circumstantial for each person that I don't know. It's like hard for me to say that, because I feel like then I might as well just not even share my opinion.
No, I think, and I do, and I appreciate your opinions. Actually, like I'm glad that we're both not like me. Okay, but I'm also glad that both of us are not like you.
True.
Because then that would have made it would be too much.
Yeah.
You know? So I think this is why we work together so well, because we balance each other out.
Yeah.
You're up here, I'm down here, and then we meet at 50-50.
Yeah.
But about just opinions and sharing what I think the way that I do it.
You like to leave the door open for possibility of like changing your mind.
Maybe I'm really trying to think why I'm so, like, it's my opinion, but I'm okay for someone to tell me, hey, Yoni, actually, let me show you, or let me prove to you that your opinion or what you think about this thing is quote unquote wrong. And I'm so open to receive, okay, show me something different then.
I mean, most of the time, like even today when I was with my friend, I brought up the same topic when it came to like best friends in adulthood.
Okay.
Because that was like our most recent topic. And I was sharing with her like how I felt about everything, you know, short version. And it's different because it's a conversation with someone. And not that we're not having a conversation, but I feel like sometimes it would be good to have like that other person that might not agree or might have a specific experience, especially because you're not another woman, you know? And I feel like oftentimes people come at me and people receive what I say about women in a very wrong way. And it upsets me.
It upsets me too, because I see the comments. Sometimes I don't even show you some of this shit.
I don't really look at the comments simply because they really, really, really get to me. Some people say like, oh, you know, but it's constructive criticism. And I totally get that. But I also think that people don't realize how hard it is to do what we do so openly. And then also, when people write certain things, they might not realize the weight of their words.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not commenting on anyone listening. I'm not looking at someone in the eyes and telling them they're wrong and telling them their opinion.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking my mind, and whoever wants to listen can listen. But then the people receiving it come directly at me.
Yeah.
And call me names.
Yeah.
And say this and that. And that's very different than just me openly sharing my opinion.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. And those are the comments that I don't, and you know, we deal with comments very differently. Me, you can say like whatever you want about me. I'm going to read it and just carry on with my day. I'm not going to think about that comment again, because like I'm really like that. I don't know. And I know
people also don't really say that much about you.
That is true. But let's say if they did. Yeah. I wouldn't care. Like, there's been comments before about me, about saying some shit, and I'm just like, okay.
My problem is just that
I don't have, and it's not that I don't care, you know, but it's also like, I don't know, like, we appreciate all of our listeners, but if someone spends some time out of their day to write a big ass paragraph that's negative about me, that right there just told me everything about you. Like, you took so much time out of your day, like. Why? Just leave it alone. Yeah. Like, if I have something bad to say, like actually bad, attacking the person, I would just rather not even spend time like doing that. Like,
yeah, why? Because also when we're sharing, and again, and I want to just say this again, that I am aware, and I also clearly I hear the feedback, And I hear your feedback because Yoni edits the podcast and sees how sometimes I get really fired up. And you yourself have told me like I need to like figure out a way to say what I need to say without coming off as attacky and without making someone who's listening that might have a different opinion than I do feel like I'm yelling at them.
Exactly.
And I totally fully take ownership of that, and that's something that I'll actively be working on from now on.
That's what I was trying to say earlier.
But I do want to talk about just briefly how people sometimes think that I'm constantly bringing up like women this and women that and claiming that I am a woman hater.
I see misogyny so many times.
And I think that people are confused because the reason why I bring up my impression or opinion on how women do this thing, best friends, I don't know what other topics we talked about.
Valentine, getting married, wanting an engagement ring.
I, if you didn't realize, am a woman myself. My experience in this world has always been as a girl and now a woman. My friends in my life have mostly been other girls and women. I don't really interact with men that much except for you and some like guy friends that we have communally, but like I don't have a guy friend specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really ever had guy friendships.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I don't want to, just didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I generally day to day don't interact with men that often. Most of the time I'm interacting with women in my work, in life, friendships. That's what I know. So why would I like that's what informs my world most of the time. That's who I interact with the most. So that's who I'm going to be talking about. I'm not going to just talk about like, and also when I'm talking about women, it's not in contrast to men. It's just women in general because I am a woman. I have women's best interest at heart. Some people might not see that because I maybe have specific like expectations or ideas of how I want to see women thrive and be independent and be themselves and make their own choices. And that's my opinion, and you can not agree with it. But I want to just make clear that like me bringing up women in different topics and episodes that we have is not because I'm hating on women. It's not because I'm always constantly pitting women against men. It's because that's what I know most. I'm not going to be talking about a male perspective. I'm not going to be talking about like how I've observed men because I don't observe men because I'm not around men that often.
Yeah.
All my observations, so many of my observations about the world and about all these things and topics we talk about are of women relationships in groups between 2, 3, my relationship with myself, my relationship with my mom, my sister, etc. So that's why I bring it up all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like I had to say that because I'm sick and tired of people. I care so deeply about shifting the way we think about women and womanhood and like
independence,
our strengths, independence.
But I think it becomes a little tricky because not all women also believe in the same things. Like some women are, this is what I love, is all about independence. I can do it myself. I can make as much money. I can make more money than whoever, whatever, right? Or I can work anywhere. But then there's also another side of women who think that I shouldn't work or everything should be bought to me. So those are two very different perspectives. And I think most of the time when people are coming at you or whatever, it's one of the two, you know, and most of the time it's the other side, not the so much.
And I think it's also so complex, like what we talk about. But I just felt like it was important for me to voice that because I am all about women in all the positive ways.
So with that being said, I feel like this is like a not a therapy session, but it's something that was important for you to voice. And I was just here for support.
Yeah.
Okay. But I agree with, and I know all of this about you. Like, I know that. That's why, like, when I read a comment and it's someone calls you something, it's like, there's a thin line between like being a professional podcaster and just someone who's just going to get in the comments and just call. Because the real me wants to just get back at everyone who's coming at you.
Yeah. And I want to just
Like,
explain myself.
If they say something, I don't even want to explain myself. I just want to like get at them the same way they came at us.
No, because sometimes like I do, because then I'm trying to think like, what did I say or how did what made them say this?
I'm only talking about if they're being disrespectful, which happened before.
Okay, yeah.
You're being disrespectful. This is the moment where I want to, let's get disrespectful then, but you don't want to do that in the comments, it's not good. So I would say,
what about like in more outside of the podcast? Because I also feel like sometimes it can get tricky even in real life situations between friends and stuff like that to like share your opinion.
You know what I think it is?
What is it?
The world and people are not ready, a lot of people, not everyone, for the truth. Like, what? It's almost like...
But is it the truth if it's your opinion?
No. But like, it's your opinion. So this is what you feel. It's like, let's say you tell your friend what you truly feel about something in their life. And that's your friend, right?
Something you've observed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you guys call each other sisters. We are besties, whatever you call yourself, right?
Yeah.
And if you tell them what you think about whatever's going on in their life, because you care about them and you just want them to know, you just want them to know what you think. If they don't receive it, I'm not saying they should be, oh, thank you so much, I love hearing that. But like, if they dismiss you or if they don't want to be your friend anymore,
or if they get super, super like
angry at you or start calling you, then
saying like, this is none of your business, or like, who do you think you are to say something like that?
Exactly. Then maybe that was never really a true friend from the beginning. Now it depends.
Does the opinion have to be invited or asked?
No.
Like if you've had something on your mind about like a friend and something that is going on in their life or a decision they made,
if it's my true friend,
you get together. Yeah, if it's your true friend, like, do you just be like, what do you do?
I just tell him.
How?
Well, I say I'll just bring it up. I mean, I'll find a way to bring it up. I'm comfortable with the people that I truly call my friend. I don't have to, like, there's never a moment where I'm
like
walking,
tiptoeing.
like I'm walking with them. And then I'm just thinking in my head, like, okay, how do I bring this up? Because I'm very open with my friends.
So what's your approach to bring something up? Like, do you like...
What do you mean approach? Like, do you want to know what I say exactly? Like my words?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, do you kind of like ease into it and first like ask them about like, so how's like this going? And then sort of start talking about it?
No.
Or do you just say like, hey, I've been thinking a little bit about like...
I would
just
say
how you've been, blah, blah, blah.
Something crossed my mind. I would tell them that I wanted to bring this up to you or something like that. But I'm not going to ask you a question.
Is there a conscious way in which you tame the opinion so that it lands softly?
No, I don't really. There's no foreplay in some shit that I'm going to tell my friends, right? Like,
but what if it's an opinion about like it's like a life. It's not like an opinion on like some random shit.
One thing I try to stay out of is family and relationship. If they're fiance or wife, it also depends on the relationship I have with that specific friends. Because there are friends who are engaged and married that I can say shit to and they'll receive it because they appreciate our deep conversations. And then there are some who are maybe just more private, like it's not my place. So where you can go with certain friends. And that's okay. It doesn't make them any less of a friend or whatever. But you just know, like with this friend, he's a little bit more sensitive. I'm going to just chill on that.
Like this is as far as I can go.
Exactly. With another one, I know I can FaceTime him right now and then we can just like talk about this directly.
See, I have a very hard
But you have to be able to read that.
Calculating that. That's the thing. So I end up just like not giving my opinion on things because I just have a hard time like reading. Even if we've been friends for a while, there's just certain things.
How can you not read that?
But there's just some people that I feel like they can turn so quick on some shit you say. Like you can just like press the wrong button or open the wrong door and they're going to be like, wrong.
I don't know. With me, like with all my guy friends, I know exactly who's who and where we can go with whoever.
Yeah, maybe that's just something that like takes time. Because I can even think like right now, I have a relatively new friendship that I feel like I haven't gotten like into like a deeper level of conversation because these are all boundaries that you have to sort of like poke at and test and see like how they respond to you inquiring about something that's like a little bit more personal.
Okay, here's a good way to do it.
Okay.
You're one-on-one with that friend and there's something on your mind that you really want to say.
Are you like new friends or have you been friends for a while? Are you close or are you like cool?
What's a new friend?
A new friend that, like a year.
Okay, a year.
6 months.
6 months to a year. That's a new friend, right? Mm-hmm. And you have something on your mind that's a little bit personal on their end, but you kind of like really want to bring it up because you feel like they should have that perspective as well.
Yeah, and maybe you also just want to hear how they think about it. Like you've observed something for a while and you have some thoughts, but you've never really like talked about any of that.
And you're not sure if you can go there yet.
Yes.
Okay? This is what I would do.
Okay.
I would literally say this, right? Hey, can I be really honest with you about something? Can I just be honest about something? And if they say, yeah, no problem.
I mean, who would say no? But yeah, okay.
You could see the way they would answer. That could kind of give you, it could kind of lead you to the right path, right? So if I ask you, hey, Natalie, can I just really be honest with you? It's something that's been on my mind. I really wanna, I don't know, say it.
And then I would say, yeah.
Okay, and then I say it. That's it. You told me that I could be honest with you. Like I feel like that's such a good, not even a disclaimer, but it's like I'm about to tell you something that might not.
But you know what sucks? When that happens and then they say yeah. And then you say your opinion about whatever it is.
But also,
and then the way they receive it, you can tell that it's not okay.
It's all about how you give it to them.
Okay, how do you give it?
I promise you, because for some reason, I can say anything, not anything, but the way you dish it out, it has to be so. I feel like there's like an art form to it.
But see, that's what I'm saying. I feel like sometimes I lack that because you even pointed out to me that there's sometimes when we are like hanging out in a group or something and we're talking about, I don't know, whatever. And I end up sharing my opinion or my take on someone's life, an aspect of their life that we're talking about, and the way that I say it.
Oh yeah, it's always the way you say it.
The way that I say it sometimes doesn't land the way that I want it to. It
doesn't.
Like there's no mean or evil intent to it at all.
I know.
But for some reason, it just.
Let's say someone just told us we're in a group setting and they're telling a story about something stupid they did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, what, and I'm questioning what they did, right? In the story. I would say, so in that moment, what made you make that decision? Like, why did you think that was like the right thing to do? This is how I would say. And then you would say, why did you do that? Like you would say like, yeah, but why? You see, we're asking the same thing. And even though your question is a fair question, it's the same question that I asked.
Yeah, but it you're has just way more attached to it.
Yours is like a brick.
But also when I say that, sometimes I'm trying to be funny.
I know, but
like if someone tells me a story and I'm like, damn, why'd you do that though? It's like with the funny type of like.
But it depends how serious the thing is.
Yeah. These are like.
And I do that. I think about that. Like the reason why I say those things and form them the way I do is because I know, because I never want to offend anyone. I never want anyone to feel stupid. I hate doing that. I never want to make anyone feel like they know less. I never want to make anyone feel any type of way other than good, right?
Yeah.
So I would just deliver it in a way to where they can feel like, even if someone is doing something wrong, I would say that's not how you. I would never say, oh, that's not how you do that, or like, wait, you didn't know? I never do that. You know that about me, right? I would say, so next time, just try to do it this way. There's so many ways you can deliver things instead of just like being like, no, that's not how you do it. Like, it's not a good feeling.
Yeah, I tend to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you do that to me.
Yeah, but that's because we're cool.
No, I know. I don't care.
Because I'm also thinking like the way that we are, like I would hope that people, that's just the thing. I just make the right assumption.
Between us, it's never a problem.
Exactly.
I know that. But with other people, sometimes when I see that happening,
you know that that's just the way that I say things.
I know. And I know that you never mean it in a bad way.
No.
But to someone else that doesn't live with you 24/7, they might feel like, and then when they might not call it out, but then it happens all the time. Now they form this opinion about Alia.
Yeah.
She's
no, I do have
like
to be more mindful. I feel like I have to be like more aware of when it happens. Because it's only like a thing happens and then hours later we get home and then you tell me.
Right.
You know?
Because Alia because I want to tell you guys, Alia, she's like, you're the sweetest person. But you never mean it in the way it comes off.
I like to be playful. I like
know.
to be like, I wanna show people that like I'm super comfortable around them, and like, and I want to show people that I think of them as someone who's really close to me, which is why I talk so freely and so like jokey.
You have to I feel like because you want that so bad, you tend to test it everywhere, right? You test it and then you hit all these people.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, I don't know how else to like say it, but
no,
when something happened in a group, I could never like really quote unquote correct it in the moment.
Yeah.
I always kind of give you this look, right?
Yeah, you do give me a look, but sometimes I don't get like what happened.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, what?
Well, because I truly am just like,
I know that's how not aware you are of that thing that you just said.
That's something I really.
And then when I get home and I break it down to you, you're like, oh fuck, right?
Yeah.
And I think that part is so funny because
but it's funny.
I know you, and it's funny because I know that's not what you meant.
Yeah.
And I know why you said it that way, because you want to be playful. You want to be able you want to be able to
like joke around with people and like
exactly.
Yeah, but
and it's not even necessarily that the people are sensitive
or serious.
Yeah, it's truly just how you said it.
Yeah. And also just understanding how like, and learning and remembering who I can and can't do that with.
Yes.
Because everybody's different. Everybody does have different sensitivities, different like thresholds of jokiness on their account or things like that, where like some people would take something really seriously and then be like, damn, you know, like take it. And then other people can like see through the joke and like play along with it, and like they receive it the way that I would hope they do. But I need to be understanding that like that's not everyone. Yeah. But it's always funny when that happens, and I can just tell, oh, I said some shit and Yoni's gonna tell me about it later.
It's so funny.
It's like the after when you get home debrief.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, this is what also makes this podcast. Okay, this is what makes What's the Juice. This is why you as the listener enjoy it.
Yeah. Or
if you don't, then I guess you wouldn't be listening to this. But
yeah.
That's what makes What's the Juice and the balance of both of us. And I think, you know, I don't think we should change anything.
No,
you know?
I think I wanted to talk about this because it's important for me to voice and to also let people know that I am self-aware and I am hearing and receiving. But I also am a person that like, I will hear, receive, evaluate what we got to work on, and still approach it the way that I want to, because I also am not going to water down my opinions. No. And I'm not going to...
And you should never do that.
...be afraid of sharing how I feel, but the way that I do say how I feel matters, and I understand that.
Yeah.
And that's something that, you know, I got to mature and develop.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Yes, it's not. I know it's not easy, but then there's also a lot of people who appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I know. And I'm very appreciative of that. But I want I don't want
there's a
anyone
lot
to
of people
listen to
who get
this
you
and,
too.
like, yeah, that's true. And appreciate everyone, you know, because also, like, we don't have this podcast to just create a what do you call it? Echo chamber of, like, basically everyone just being like, yes, you're so right. I so agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want that.
We never even
want
wanted
people
that.
to share their different perspectives, or, like, add to what we said, or maybe, like, give us something to think about. But for me,
Or
it's
give
more
give people something to think about.
yes, but it's a fine line between that and then people calling us names or saying different things about us, because, like, that's not the same thing.
Like, there's some people who, like, unsubscribe. It's like, oh, this episode was terrible. Unsubscribe, whatever.
I mean, hey,
and
that
just, like,
that will happen. That's the nature of the business. But that being said, we're gonna head over to the Patreon today. Are we good with this episode?
I'm good, honestly. I feel good about it. It was a good conversation. I hope everybody understood where we came from, where Alia came from.
Yeah. And,
and-
like, let us know also in the comments, maybe, like,
yes,
how you approach sharing opinions, or how you, if there was any, like, thought that sparked from, like, what we talked about, please share it down below.
Or if you react like one of us, this episode probably, like, connected, because I feel like, because if I'm watching something, like, sometimes when I watch a podcast and then someone is talking about something that, like, I deal with, I'm, like, so locked in the episode. I'm just, like, following every single word they're saying. Yeah,
let me know if you resonated with some of my struggles, because I would love to know if I'm not alone.
I feel like there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
You know, you're not the only one in the world who has, like, there's so many people like that.
It's just that I have a podcast, so I broadcast it in different ways. But we appreciate you for tuning in to today's episode. It's a little bit more, like, not serious, but just introspective.
Yeah. There was one more thing I wanted to say. About the comments.
Like, people should comment something?
No, I mean, comment just what you thought about this episode, honestly. I feel like that was, but I had something else I wanted to say about, anyways, escaped my mind.
Okay.
Probably wasn't that important.
We're going to see you guys over on Patreon. We are talking about, it's almost, I mean, not almost, but, like, close-ish to our 1-year anniversary of living in New York City. And we wanted to kind of ask you guys to send us questions. Anything that has to do with living in New York, how we feel about it. Yeah, moving here.
If you're planning on moving here, this weekend's episode will be for you. So go ahead and sign up if you haven't signed up yet.
So we're just going to head over there, read your questions, talk about the greatest city in the world that both Yoni and I are so fortunate.
The greatest city, in our opinion. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, sorry.
Someone's going to be like, New York is the dirtiest city in the world. What you talking about?
But hey, you got to either love the dirt or hate the dirt, you know? Everyone's different, but I honestly am living the dream. I was taking the subway today, and I was taking the subway that goes, like, across the Brooklyn Bridge, and it had it was in the morning, so it was such a beautiful view of the city.
That's not even really, you know what you got to do?
Oh,
you got to get on a bike.
Okay, you got to get on a bike. Yeah.
And you were going to get on a bike. Oh, and also, too, we are moving.
Yes, we are moving.
We are moving out of this apartment. I know this is apartment number 5. Each summer, you guys get...
No, this isn't 4.
This is apartment 4. Oh, right.
Wait. Yeah, because we had 3 in Seattle.
We lived together for 3 years in Seattle, and we had 3 apartments.
Yeah, and it's our 4th apartment, and we're on to our 5th.
And we're on to our 5th apartment. We don't love doing it, but I feel like every year we can get something better.
Yeah, and also...
like...
We'll actually cover more on, like, why we're moving and things like that on the Patreon episode, because it ties into, like, New York City, living here and everything.
I'm so excited to move. We signed our lease like 3-4 days ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's gonna be, I feel like this one is our best apartment.
Yeah, that we've had.
Yeah.
Because also it was in New York.
Yes, but even better than the ones we had in Seattle.
Yeah. Okay, we love you. We're gonna sign off. See you on Patreon if you're gonna be over there. If not, we'll see you next Wednesday. You're amazing. I hope we all have a great rest of our day. And yeah, that's about it. Remember to drink your water.
Shout out to everyone's dog.
Yeah.
I haven't said that in a long time. We
Yeah.
still have stickers available on the website, so if you haven't gotten any, go ahead and
do that.
And that's it.
And yep. Bye.
All right, bye guys.
Oh, my foot is asleep.
My foot is asleep too.